A conversation reveals increased security measures in the city due to upcoming elections, particularly affecting hollow exits to the outer ring. This has significantly impacted smuggling operations, making it difficult for businesses to operate between the city and outer regions. Information is shared about biker gangs in the outer ring being valuable sources of intelligence. These gangs are crucial for transportation of supplies and are well respected among residents, maintaining comprehensive knowledge of local happenings. The search for Pearlman has become increasingly difficult, with no substantial leads emerging despite public security's involvement. The mysterious nature of his complete disappearance from both city and outer ring surveillance raises questions about his survival. The Sons of Kadon, having obtained a Sparkstone, express ambitions to claim the Overlord's throne. Their leader, referred to as Big Daddy, maintains a more cautious approach, choosing to remain focused on transport business. An airship accident leads to the discovery of an important survivor connected to the Vision case, who claims to possess evidence about a real mastermind behind certain crimes. Billy reveals connections to the Sons of Kadon biker gang and their possession of information about Pearlman. They request a face-to-face meeting to discuss business arrangements, offering exclusive intelligence in exchange. The narrative shifts to the outer ring, highlighting its vast expanse and reliance on petroleum due to limited ether technology. The area contains numerous hollows and an old oil field, demonstrating the technological divide between regions. A dangerous incident occurs involving an oil tanker and a hollow, forcing emergency measures. The situation reveals connections between the Vanquishers and an ether corporation in the city. The group implements an escape plan using anti-corruption serum and hollow data piles. They encounter ethereals during their attempt to install data files, leading to combat situations. A rescue operation brings new characters into play, including a sister figure named Lighter. The rescue was initiated through intelligence provided by a young girl, demonstrating the interconnected nature of various factions. A welcoming ceremony takes place for newcomers to the outer ring. The scene reveals a previous accident that brought the parties together, establishing a connection between them through their mutual acquaintance, Billy. The atmosphere is initially tense, but gradually becomes more welcoming. The Sons of Caledon, a biker gang from the outer ring, formally introduces themselves. Their leader Caesar reveals they have Pearlman, who survived an airship crash but remains unconscious. This information was meant to be part of negotiations, though Caesar freely offers to hand Pearlman over once he recovers. Some tension arises regarding negotiation tactics, particularly concerning the Tour Inferno. Lucy expresses frustration about revealing information too early, while Caesar maintains a more straightforward approach. The discussion reveals the need for a proxy for an important event. The Tour Inferno is explained as a major off-road motorbike race through a hollow. Only 2 teams compete, with the goal being to reach Cinderglow Lake and throw a Sparkstone into it. The race serves multiple purposes, including ensuring the safety of oil resources. The significance of the Tour Inferno extends to determining the overlord of the old Oilfield Motor League. The current title holders, the Vanquishers, have been causing problems by assigning unfavorable transport routes to other groups. Their leader has been absent for 6 months. Plans are made to establish a mobile proxy workshop in the outer ring, moving equipment from the city to improve communication efficiency. The decision is made due to the limited availability of smart devices and potential data transmission issues in the region. The narrative shifts to Blazewood Town, where the mayor Kasa introduces herself. The town relies on handicrafts for income due to infrastructure issues. Special attention is given to sunflints, traditional woven items that hold cultural significance during the Tour Inferno. The history of the old oil field is revealed, including how a hollow swallowed the core oil field decades ago. The formation of Cinderglow Lake from a natural gas vent helped prevent further etheric matter contamination of the oil reserves. Different perspectives on the Tour Inferno legend emerge. While some view it as an inspiring tale of heroism, others like Lucy take a more pragmatic view, suggesting the story was crafted to establish control over the old oil field. The discussion reveals potential connections to the prestigious Monteo family. A discussion about life in the city versus the outer ring takes place, highlighting the contrast between predetermined privileged lifestyles and the freedom found in the Motor League. While the Motor League emphasizes freedom and justice, the reality of survival necessitates considering profits and business aspects. The Sons of Kadon are facing challenges with their reputation and finances. The Overlord's faction is targeting them, affecting their income and recruitment efforts. Despite having a better reputation than the Vanquishers in recent years, they need to secure the Overlord's title for their future survival. The focus shifts to preparation for the Tour Inferno event, with leadership ambitions temporarily set aside. Plans are made to gather hollow data and modify vehicles for the upcoming competition, requiring specific parts and modifications. The group heads to a parts facility in the hollow, explaining why obtaining parts directly from the source is preferable to buying from outside markets. The quality and availability of parts in the outer market are limited, making direct hollow acquisition necessary. The group pursues the imposters to the vehicle graveyard, coordinating with Piper to bring vehicles for the chase. A confrontation appears imminent as they detect explosive items in the vicinity. After a confrontation, the situation resolves with the mercenary Pulchra agreeing to return the refitted parts and surrendering those from the vehicle graveyard. A potential recruitment opportunity arises as Pulchra expresses dissatisfaction with their current employer. The narrative explains the role of champions in biker gangs within the old oil field. Champions represent their gang's honor in disputes and serve as bodyguards, though some leaders, like Lucy, demonstrate exceptional strength themselves. The group proceeds with installing data piles in strategic locations while defending against ethereal attacks. The mission requires careful placement and protection of multiple data collection points. A confrontation occurs over data piles, with accusations of theft being thrown around. One party claims ownership while the other disputes it, noting that the registration numbers on the data piles have been removed. This leads to questioning about the legitimacy of the claims and references to League rules about unclaimed equipment. A challenge is issued for a duel to resolve the conflict. References are made to previous battles and a fighter with a 20-fight winning streak. The challenger, Bellum, reveals himself as someone seeking revenge for a past defeat. The scene builds tension as both parties prepare for combat. After the duel concludes with Bellum's defeat, a meaningful exchange occurs about honor and the underground fighting scene. The victor explains that the underground fighting world has nothing to do with true honor, suggesting that those who participate do so out of necessity rather than choice. An offer is made for future legitimate challenges. A private meeting reveals concerns about repeated obstacles in the hollows and suspicions about potential information leaks. Investigation into Bellum and PCRA shows possible connections to the Vanquishers. The situation is complicated by the upcoming Tour Inferno competition and the need for discretion in handling the matter. Suspicious behavior is discovered involving Kasa, who has been making regular nighttime trips carrying hollow gear. This revelation causes concern due to Kasa's long-standing relationship with the Sons of Caledon and her connection to Caesar. A plan is formed to investigate the situation discreetly to avoid damaging relationships. A confrontation reveals Kasa's secret dealings involving supplies for the town. The situation escalates when Caesar arrives, and it becomes clear that the town has been struggling with resources and necessities. The complex situation involves both the town's needs and questions of loyalty. Overlord Pompey appears, bringing additional tension to the situation. The truth emerges about Kasa's actions. She had been trading handicrafts for supplies to help the struggling town. Rather than betrayal, her actions were motivated by a desire to help the community while avoiding burdening the Sons of Caledon during their important competition preparations. A situation involving a trade dispute in the Hollow was discussed. A listening device was discovered in the handicrafts delivered by Blazewood, along with irregularities in supply deliveries. This raised concerns about trust and transparency between League members. Moores admitted to his wrongdoing regarding the listening devices. The importance of justice and fairness within the League was emphasized, particularly concerning the protection of the old oil field. The leadership took responsibility rather than allowing a subordinate to bear the full burden. A solution was presented involving new cooperation agreements with neighboring regions. The plan included rebuilding damaged oil pipelines and sharing oil resources. This arrangement would help restore the town's oil supply within 3 months. A proposal was made to manage 3 new freight routes over the next 6 months. While lucrative, these routes would traverse challenging areas requiring experienced riders. A condition was set requiring free assistance to less fortunate residents in these regions. Details emerged about how Moores had strategically placed listening devices in handicrafts sent to Blazewood for processing. The revelation of this surveillance was calculated to maintain peace and prevent escalation of tensions within the Motor League. The significance of protecting oil resources was discussed, noting their importance not just to local regions, but as a barrier against big city companies' expansion. The vulnerable position of Blazewood residents, particularly the elderly and children, was highlighted. A visit to New Arredo was planned, offering an opportunity to explore the city and its amenities, including a notable video store. This presented a chance for those less familiar with city life to experience urban culture. Reflections on city life versus outer ring living were shared. Despite the city's attractions, some expressed preference for the outer ring's freedom and familiar lifestyle. The discussion highlighted the cultural differences between urban and peripheral areas. Important realizations about leadership were discussed, including the understanding that being an overlord requires more than just strength. Recognition of the complexity of negotiations and the importance of considering multiple perspectives in decision-making was emphasized. The implementation of new route distributions was detailed, demonstrating a strategic approach to maintaining League stability. The importance of integrity in leadership and the potential consequences of infighting were discussed. At the legendary Tour Inferno event, a highly anticipated competition is about to begin. Drones are set up to broadcast the event with a 10-minute delay. The competition features 2 teams, the Prank with Pompey and the Sons of Palad with Caesar and Lucy. The goal is to reach Cinder Lake and complete a ritual using the Spar Stone to destroy Anther Crystals, with the winner becoming Grand Overlord. As the competition begins, both teams enter the hollow, navigating through dangerous terrain and obstacles. The path becomes increasingly treacherous, with rising ether crystal concentrations and hazardous buildings along the route. The teams regroup and discover the collapse was caused by ether explosives. They realize someone is targeting Cinder Lake and must race there to prevent catastrophe. They locate 3 motorbikes to continue their journey. A confrontation reveals a deeper conspiracy. Lucius has replaced the Spark Stone with an ether aggregation catalyst, planning to extinguish Cinder Lake. This technology, developed by City Enterprises, accelerates ether crystallization and poses serious dangers to those with weak ether aptitude. The situation at Cinder Lake becomes critical as ether concentration levels rise dramatically and the lake's heat signature begins shrinking. The teams rush to reach the location before it's too late, while dealing with increasing resistance and complications. Upon reaching Cinder Lake, they find it overwhelmed with ether crystals. The betrayal by Lucius, who conspired with an ether corporation, becomes clear. Their plan involves depleting the oil resources for their own gain. The situation escalates as they face powerful ethereal entities. The conflict reaches its climax as the teams engage in intense combat while trying to save Cinder Lake. Despite exhaustion, they persist in their mission to defeat the enemy and honor the fallen overlord. A tense moment occurs as characters navigate a challenging situation, with one providing encouragement and reassurance to another while maintaining their position. The situation at Cinder Lake appears dire as it faces extinction despite having the Spark Stone. A character named Caesar makes a bold decision to sacrifice himself, despite protests from others who suggest finding alternative solutions elsewhere. An emotional moment unfolds as spatial anomalies are detected, leading to an unexpected reunion and dramatic turn of events. The scene transitions to a farewell gathering where discussions about leadership changes take place. The old oil field incident is addressed, with Pompey and Lucius' involvement being significant points of discussion. Details emerge about Lucius' collusion with an ether corporation. The conversation reveals how Cinder Lake was saved and the emotional impact of recent events on the community. A scientific explanation is provided about a natural fissure phenomenon beneath Cinder Lake, connecting to an old legend about the first overlord. This discovery changes the understanding of historical events. A dramatic retelling of survival through the fissure is shared, followed by an emotional exchange regarding leadership succession and personal relationships within the community. The narrative shifts to a journey back to the city, reflecting on recent events at Cinder Lake and the emotional weight of near-catastrophic experiences. The story moves to the chasm at the edge of New Idu, explaining its historical significance and connection to the Hollow disaster. Personal memories of the old capital are shared. Characters arrive at a meaningful location, revealing connections to the Helios Academy and a teacher named Carol Ara. The emotional weight of returning home is evident. Critical information about Carol Ara's connection to the fall of the old capital is revealed, along with the protagonist's mission to clear their teacher's name and uncover the truth. The narrative concludes with the appearance of Hoshimi Miyabi, head of Section 6, who reveals personal motivations related to the fall of the old capital and expresses determination to bring those responsible to justice.